This is Mac OS Ken.
Google may power the smarter Siri, shakeups in App Store architectures, and travel updates for Apple Wallet. It is Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by NordLayer. Secure your network, block threats to your business, and get 28% off NordLayer yearly plans today with coupon code MacOSKen-28 at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Spoiler alert, which is to say Mark Gurman story. Bloomberg had Gurman posting a piece Wednesday that has Apple planning to drop about $1 billion a year on Google for an AI model to power a smarter Siri. Following an extensive evaluation period, says the report, the two companies are now finalizing an agreement that would give Apple access to Google's technology, according to the people who asked not to be identified because the deliberations are private. Are they, though? The piece says it wouldn't be a forever thing. Having tried a few AI solutions, including options from Anthropic and OpenAI, Apple has chosen to go with Google, though the hope, according to Bloomberg, is to use the technology as an interim solution until Apple's own models are powerful enough. If true, it is odd that this deal isn't finalized already. While the piece says Apple's smarter Siri is on track for next spring, with months between now and then, the plans and partnership could still evolve, according to the report. We're actually starting with two Google stories today. The second one is more concrete, though less tied to Apple directly. Mac Rumors says the advertising, AI, and I guess still search giant Google is caving. I'm sorry, did I say caving? I meant offering concessions to end an ongoing antitrust dispute with Epic Games. According to the report, Google will let developers use payment methods besides Google Play billing in apps or through external links. Google will support registered app stores, aka third-party app stores. Epic Games would be one of the registered app stores greenlit by Google. Google will get a fee ranging from 9% to 20% for transactions facilitated through registered third-party app stores. That fee structure and the registered app store structure will apparently be global things, not US only. Developers will be free to communicate with customers about pricing and special offers outside the Google Play Store. And finally, for this telling, Google will not do deals that'll see apps launch first or exclusively on Google Play, nor will it require an app to provide the same features on Google Play that it does on other app stores. While this may sound like a pie-in-the-sky offer on Google's part, Epic is in. Mac Rumor says the two companies filed a joint settlement agreement with the court overseeing their case late Tuesday. If approved, Apple will stand alone in its public antitrust fight with Epic. We should have an answer on that front soon. The court is planning to review the proposed Epic v. Google settlement today, Thursday, the 6th of November, according to the report. Speaking of third-party app stores, iOS 26.2 is making way for those in Japan. A day after the first developer betas for OS 26.2 were seeded, a piece from Apple Insider says Apple's next OS for iPhone is paving the way for app stores besides Apple's own. The report says changes on the way mean Apple will have to let third-party app stores function on iPhone in Japan, let developers use payment solutions besides Apple's in-app payment system, let users choose default apps on their own, and Apple will not favor its own apps or services over third-party options. This is, of course, not a voluntary move on Apple's part. The piece says the Japan Fair Trade Commission is set to start enforcing the island nation's Smartphone Act rules on or by the 18th of December. So, I guess we're getting BlankOS 26.2 updates on or by the 18th of December. There seems to be an issue with Apple's C1 modem in this week's iPhone and iPad developer betas. A piece from 9to5Mac says Apple is blocking the 26.2 betas from machines sporting that modem. Those include iPhone 16e, iPhone Air, and the cellular version of the M5 iPad Pro. The piece says the over-the-air update still shows as being available, but installation fails. No word from Apple on what the what. If you're worried about the state of Apple home architecture, you got a bit more breathing room. Mac Rumors ran a piece earlier this week that had the Cupertino company saying it'll end support for the previous version of Apple Home on the 10th of February, 2026. Before that announcement, Apple had said that it would end support for the old architecture this fall. Explaining why the transition might be a big deal for some, Mac Rumors says when Apple stops supporting the original HomeKit architecture, it will break support for the Home app on devices running older versions of iOS, iPadOS, and macOS. iOS 16.2, iPadOS 16.2, macOS 13.1, tvOS 16.2, and watchOS 9.2 are the minimum versions of Apple's platforms that work with the updated Apple Home app, and older devices will lose access. Apple updated to the not-so-new architecture in 2023. Folks who've not made the move to that one can do so by tapping the More button in the Home app, choosing Home Settings, and then tapping on the Software Update option. Devices that can support the most recent architecture may eventually be updated automatically, according to Apple. As mentioned before, though, devices that can't or don't make the jump will lose home connectivity in the middle of February. From the Better Late Than Never file, a couple of updates one might have expected earlier this week finally turned up midweek. When the range of BlankOS 26.1 updates hit earlier this week, I told you of a couple of updates made for Macs that hadn't made the move to Tahoe. Apple's Security Updates page had the company releasing macOS Sequoia 15.7.2 and macOS Sonoma 14.8.2, each addressing security issues for those older operating systems. At that point, Apple had not done the same for iPhones and iPads running pre-26 operating systems. Now a piece from Apple Insider says the company has. Apple on Wednesday released iOS and iPadOS 18.7.2. The only new feature is improved security. Release notes say the updates bring important security fixes and are recommended for all users. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, NordLayer, a toggle-ready network security platform built for today's business. NordLayer is based on zero trust, meaning access is only granted to the right users under the right conditions. While it's built to be safe, it is also built to be simple. No huge setup, no new hardware. NordLayer is a security platform that works as a layer over your existing platforms, including Windows, macOS, iOS, Android, and Linux. Quick deployment, step-by-step onboarding, 24/7 support. NordLayer stands ready to guard your business. Strengthen your protection today and do it with a great discount. Get their exclusive Black Friday offer, 28% off NordLayer yearly plans with coupon code macOSKen-28 at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. This offer's only good until the 10th of December, so do not wait. Try it risk-free with their 14-day money-back guarantee. Keep your workers working safely and guard against outside threats with NordLayer. Get 28% off yearly plans with coupon code MacOSKen-28 at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. A couple of travel-related updates for Apple Wallet and Apple Card. First to the wallet, where Delta Airlines is dropping more full-featured boarding passes on iPhones running iOS 26. 9to5Mac says that OS launched a redesigned boarding pass experience for flights in the Wallet app. The new design features live activities, quicker access to key flight details, and more. United and Air Canada were early with the new functionality, though Delta is catching up. In addition to the aforementioned live activities and flight info, the piece says new features for boarding passes in Apple Wallet include airport maps and luggage tracking with Find My. No update required to take advantage. For users running some version of iOS 26, 9to5Mac says the Delta change is being pushed on the server side. For getting around once you get where you're flying, we turn to Apple Card and a deal it's made with Hertz Car Rental. A piece from Mac Rumors says the rental service has joined Apple Card's cashback partners, offering 3% daily cashback as long as you get in the right way. According to the report, users have to take advantage through the Rewards and Offers hub in Apple Card. Hitting the website button will take would-be renters to the Apple Card portal on the Hertz site. There are other bonuses in addition to the 3%. Mac Rumor says Hertz is also offering Apple Card users free emergency roadside service, a discounted loss damage waiver, saving $16.95 per day, one free additional driver, and at least 5% off pay later base rates. Shazam has gone all glassified. 9to5Mac says Apple has updated its audio recognition app Shazam with what the company calls a sleek, new liquid glass look. Not that the update is all about looks. The piece says Shazam's liquid glass interface includes a revamped toolbar with access to the Home, Library, and Concert tabs. The search icon is also now separated into its own button in the bottom right of the app. Meanwhile, release notes for the app say recently identified songs now appear on the home screen, making it easier to revisit the music that you've discovered with Shazam. Some version of iOS 26 is required for the update. Happy listening. And finally today, if you're looking to kill a bit of time, there are 3 new games waiting in Apple Arcade. On the heels of this week's soccer simulator, Football Manager 26 Touch, a piece from Mac Rumors says a couple of Sims titles are joining Apple's subscription gaming service. They include My Sims and My Sims Kingdom. On top of, under, or beside that, Toca Boca Jr. Classics has also landed in the service. Apple Arcade costs $6.99 per month. It is also bundled with other Apple services in the Apple One plans. Happy playing. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by NordLayer. Get 28% off NordLayer yearly plans today with coupon code MacOSKen-28 at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Collect your tokens and let's get on to the next round.